Hey, did everybody break out their thumb pick this week? I want to really thank Bob McAlpine for joining the staff and starting us off with a tune that I think is pretty approachable. I'm surprised nobody's uploaded videos of them working on that yet. But really short, great tune, and great introduction from Bob. It is Wednesday, it's Friday, August 14th, and things have changed a lot around here. All of a sudden I got a house full of people working all day long in different parts of different rooms, and my wife's a teacher, my daughter is a student teacher. Both of them are like, we're burning through a lot of bandwidth here nowadays. So anyway, but what I do want to talk a little bit more about Bob, because again, it was kind of a fluky thing, how I heard his Steely Dan tunes on my cousin's radio show, and tracked him down, and then looking at what he's been doing with his bands a couple of times. We didn't talk too much about the Steely Dan band, but if you want to check them out more, they're called Pretzel Logic, not to be confused with a Pretzel Logic based in Southern California, another Steely Dan cover band, but Bob's band is based out of Toronto. So check out the Canadian version of Pretzel Logic. And of course, Brass Transit. I got to talk to him more. We're going to try to get some more conversations and interviews going with him, talking about his life and what he's been doing. And so I hope everybody got a chance to watch some of that introduction video. Turned out to go on a little bit longer than I had planned, but that's okay. And audio wasn't so great. I hadn't checked my mic settings and some things like that, but it's the content that's important, So anyway, be sure to check out Pretzel Logic and, of course, Brass Transit, because one of the things he mentioned in there is that they had a different singer up until recently who got stolen by Chicago, Neil Donnell. I'm not sure if it's Donnell or Donnell. I'll check with Bob sometime on that. But he's now singing 3 different parts for Chicago, apparently. I haven't heard his Terry Kath imitation yet, but I've heard him sound like Cetera and Robert Lamb. But anyway, so but Brass Transit looks like they're still happening once we get out of the COVID world, which we hope. Anyway, it's probably not as bad in Canada as it is here, because they probably have, first of all, a lot less people, so easier to control those people probably. Anyway, what else did I want to talk about today? No, I'll save that for later. I did try to dig up what's that song called? Lemon Twist by me, and I'll try to play it a little bit later. We'll see how it goes. So let's see. I think that's all I wanted to ramble on here about now. I will be back in a minute, and it'll be like just 2 seconds as far as you're concerned, and we'll talk about some of the new releases from this week. Well, along with, of course, the already mentioned Living for the City, Max brought us another Elvis tune, Little Sister. I think that might be it. We might be running out of Elvis tunes. I think we got plenty here now. And Vanessa brought us another Roxette tune, Fading Like a Flower, which also brought us out a Roxette 5-pack. Speaking of packs, and I'll get to another song a second ago, we are kind of rolling over some stuff that has not been available in the past, and that included a Prince 6-pack of Electric Lessons that we had really just had out on DVDs, which I think I mentioned a couple of weeks ago meant that only like about 100 people have them, because I think that's all we made, So So we're going to continue that with some other stuff coming up next week. We're kind of like going through the archives and making sure that everything we've done is really available to everybody. So we're finding, it's kind of different. Now the other, additional stuff. I had a lot of fun tracking down. Excuse me. There we go. Tracking down, or not tracking down, but putting together a lesson on this. You Won't See Me from Rubber Soul. Just one of those songs that has always been in the middle of the radar, never like at the top, but not at the bottom. And it's kind of like it just needs a little push to get it back, like in circulation. and which is going to lead me to another story a little bit later, probably. But every time I put together something like that, I start thinking, well, maybe it's time to make an instrumental version of it. And so I was doing this just as I was shooting the lesson. I thought, oh, that would make a cool kind of strumming thing. And then I thought, well, let's see, how's it going to sound with finger picking? Oh, this is a big experiment. I should have worked on this. Well, anyway, you get the idea. So I got some projects on the couple weeks down the road burner. So it's always kind of cool to to see songs you've requested. I think these are the last couple of weeks. A lot of the things that I've ended up doing. Dun Ringgill was one. You Won't See Me, of course, and I think there was one other one from a little further back that derails me. Even though I've got a list this long of songs I want to get to, I still got to get to this someday. But it's only like halfway done. So, okay, that was all the new stuff for this week. We got the 2 packs, Prince Revealed, and the Roxette 5-pack, and the 4 new lessons, right? That's my goal. You try to get out 4. I'm happy with 3, but 4 is the plan nowadays. We're trying to get out a lot of new stuff. So, okay, be right back with, speaking of new stuff, in the next chapter. I'll be talking about some other new stuff. Well, a couple of kind of exciting things that are that Jamila put some videos together on the forum explaining some of the new things that are happening here. One of them is the Welcome Back. It's an extension in the forum that has a lot of information about each user, about you at least. It doesn't have a lot of information about other people and like, their social security number or anything, but it does have, it tells you like when you were here last and things like that. And pretty quick access to your posts, your attachments you may have put in there. So anyway, it's a really sophisticated setup now. So I really encourage you to take a look at the video that Jamila put together explaining the Welcome Back extension. And then there's this visual menu is really, really interesting because you, at totallyguitars.com, you now have like almost instant access to everything. One of the features that we had at the old site that people really liked, I really liked at least, because sometimes I needed to know quickly what are the 5 songs we have from Roxette, for example. And it was pretty easy to go to the master menu and scroll down the like 500 artists we had. I don't know how many. It got to be kind of long. And now that this visual menu is available at, I think, just at the Totally Guitars side. But again, there's a video that Jamila put up explaining it, and we've got the kind of side-by-side sites of Totally Guitars and Totally Lessons. So sometimes you just got to check out and see where you are, depending on what you're looking for and what you're, what you want to do next. Because sometimes the list of artists we have, I think it is really close to 500, and it's just it's stunning, for 1,300, 1,400, 1,500 lessons that we have now. So I hope you're enjoying that and get a chance to check them out, and give us some feedback on that. We're always looking for feedback. We got a lot when we were sort of like in the beta phase, and we're pretty much, I think, out of the beta phase. Most stuff is working, and now we're just rolling out new features as we can and do as stuff happens here. So, okay, coming up. Why are you playing this again, you might ask? You play this every week, right? There you go, just a little teaser. I'll come back and talk about what's happening next week. Oh, don't play the same bluesy lick. Wait a minute. Okay. That is one of the things that's coming up next week, because I've finally got to work on my finger-picking version of When I'm 64. That is also will be pretty close, if not exact. I haven't made the full decision yet. Exactly the way I recorded it 32 years ago. A little over 31, I guess. I think it was 1989. But so that is one of the things we're working on for next week. The recommend a lesson suggestions. Vanessa is taking this one up. Richard Marx, Hazard. That's coming up live. Max is bringing us a kind of an oldie but goodie. Well, oldie, not oldie from my world of oldies, but anybody under 40, it's like before they were born. Not quite. David Bowie. We got a David Bowie tune coming up next week. Let's dance. So, and then the Clapton pack. So this is another set of electric lessons that we had only available on DVD. So that's what's coming up next week, and a few other surprises. Always got to kind of keep one thing closer to the vest, because I don't always want to give everything away. But I did want to, the persistence that we get from some members who shall remain nameless this time, but who've been mentioned before, has made me try to dig up some of my old tunes. This one, never mind, I'm not going to play that one. That was called One Step Beyond. There's the Bossa Nova one I've played in the past, Along the Way. And one of the things that has delayed me getting to some of these other things is many of them I only have in the same format. I'm glad this brings me to the format that Bob, or the software that Bob has been using to write his stuff out, is Finale, which is something I was using back when I did my albums, my Beatles, Christmas, and Yesterday's News albums. So I don't have any of those in Guitar Pro. It's a much higher powered software, and does, you could use it to write out a symphony for those of you who are working on your first or fifth symphony. And but I stopped using it just because for the quick stuff that I needed for lessons, Guitar Pro was faster. It's not as good for really elaborate things like like the tune that I'm gonna mess around with now. So, but I'm outdated with my Finale stuff. Luckily, I saved most of these things as PDFs, but that means that when I put out a lesson like I did a little while ago, it wasn't Looking Through You. Was it And I Love Her? No, I changed that one. One of those, I think, anyway, one of those had to just be out as PDFs and not Guitar Pro, because I didn't have it in Guitar Pro and I was lazy. And so it made me, I printed this up the other day because I couldn't remember it, because I hadn't played it probably in 5 or 6 years, which is the last time I played it maybe on a news thing. See see if I can do it. So this tune, this is Lemon Twist, had that part. It's almost like a round or a chorus. It's got a bunch of they're all must just be 8-measure sections, and each of the other sections go into a different key or start not a different key, but start on A. There we go. Let me try that again. Back to the chorus. Now the next episode, back to the chorus. And the last episode, let me think about that. Okay, I've almost got it back, and I'm probably now inspired to be working on a lesson on that and some of my other kind of obscure original tunes that are not. There's a lot of them that have never been, that are not on like CDs or anyplace else. As I mentioned before, I probably have 20 pieces that I could. Too much to fathom. Okay, that is it for August 14th. I hope to see some Living for the City uploads soon. Come on, you guys. See you next week.